Peace and grand rising to the heirs. Is December the 3rd, 1440 on the sun calendar, 1441 on the moon calendar, and 2020 on our ancient Greco-Roman calendar. All calendars and all moons and suns and stars and time belongs to the heirs. So I'm so excited for us again.
Islam, Moors.
Welcome.
Just wanted to say Islam to everyone.
Oh, grand rising. Thank you.
Grand rising. I'll mute myself.
Islam. So recently we talked about the fast, the nationwide fast that we're going to be doing. And I want to be sure that that we emphasize, this fast. It's going to be very important, and I'll tell you why. Okay. The fast is on December 13th, 14th, and 15th. On the 14th of December, there's both a new moon and a total solar eclipse on that day. And that's why we picked the day before, the day of, and the day after the new moon and the solar eclipse. Because what that's really saying is that the moon will not show because the new moon is coming, and that the sun will be blocked out, which is prophetic for us. So on the 13th and 14th and 15th, we will be the moon and the sun energetically. The cosmos is speaking because we are awake. It's telling everyone that we're awake. And so we're going to continue to align with the cosmos. And actually the cosmos is aligning with us. So all solar systems in the universe are now aligning and will be aligned on December 21st. So, which is winter solstice. And that is what the fast is in preparation for. Okay. Pluto, on December 21st, Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter will pull all other planets and systems into alignment on that day. We are aligning as well from within. We're fasting to set up our chakras and get them into alignment as well. We are already in alignment, and we're sharpening and perfecting our alignment day by day. We're fasting on the 13th, 14th, and 15th. And then on the 21st of December, we want to be sure that we take some time to go out into the territory and spend some time at the ancient markers and sites. I know it's going to be maybe a little chilly in some of the areas on December 21st, but if you can make it out to some of the sites, or just step outside your domicile and spend some time outside on that day. As above, so below. We want to harness the energy that is being sent by way of the planets that are aligning that day. Earth will be in alignment as well. Gaia will be in alignment as well. And so we're going to match ourselves with the alignment above. We are pairing ourselves by preparing ourselves. So when you think about pairing, those who are familiar with Bluetooth technology What the Bluetooth technology does is it will seek out any of the other systems in the network and connect and pair itself to those systems so that it can then speak through those systems. And that is what our fast is all about. It's offering space within us so that our ancestors can continue to speak through us. And this is going to be really important for us to do. Yes, in the chat, the code. We're matching the code. The coding that's within our ONA, because we don't even have DNA, animals have DNA. That was taught in the animal schools and the education system. But we don't have DNA, we have ONA, oxyribonucleic acid. And that's what that is, oxyribonucleic acid. And so this fast is going to assist us in pairing quickly and make it so that the electromagnetic forces at that time can go ahead and find our chakras easily, which is easy to do anyway because we have the coding already in our makeup. But we want to facilitate that connection because it's so ancient a connection that even the planets recognize the connection. They know that we're awake, the planets do, the stars do. They know that we're awake, and they are planning to match with our chakras at the time so that we can get the rest of the story. Remember the prophet said that if I told you the half, some of you would go back to sleep. Well, this is going to make it so that we become the receptacles or the receptors or the vessels for the other half, that other half. So we're going to match ourselves with the alignment above because, again, as above, so below. And we need to drink as much water as possible because water is the major conductor of electromagnetic energy. And that's why we are mostly made of water, so that we can receive and then transmit. And again, the energies that are coming have been, there never was a time when those energies and that information that's coming was not. There never was a time when what's coming was not. It's been waiting for us. Because this energy upgrade is happening, it's actually activating the formerly, they claimed that the ONA, which they call DNA, they said it was previously dormant, and they used to refer to it as junk DNA. And they also said that we only use 5% of our brain power. That's what they said. We only use 5% of our brain power. And so the electromagnetic alignment that's here, it's actually started already. And that's why a lot of us are getting information that we did not have before. The alignment has already started.
Where is Marcelo?
And so a lot of us are already feeling that which is coming. It's already on its way. This alignment that's coming it comprises.
Is Milo going to be there?
In the chat, in the chat. Yes, absolutely in the chat. Justice Juramore said in the chat that the other 95% was disconnected. It was not really disconnected, but it was inactivated. Yes, it was deactivated, so to speak. And this December 21st energy surge that's coming is going to reactivate and awaken. Again, it's already started. You would not be here if it hasn't already started within you. It's already begun. It's just that there's going to be a surge of it, and that surge is going to make its debut on the 21st in the cosmos when the planets align to match our chakras, because our chakras are now aligned now that we're awake, and we have to practice keeping them aligned. And so fasting and tuning in to the ancestral energies is the key. Study of self is the key, and demonstrating sovereign Moorish nationality is the key. We are indeed about to experience that great leap forward that our Grand Chief mentioned about 2 weeks ago for our nation and for our government. And this is a part of that. We're just aligning for that to happen. You've heard of the whole X-Men piece. This is going to open that up. The energy that's coming now is going to assist us in accessing all that we need to access in order to evolve fully into our godness. And so X-Men energy is being given in preparation for the information and knowledge. The word fast, okay, because we talked about this great leap forward as an acceleration into our godness and into all that the ancestors can show us and have shown us and will show us. The word fast is the tool used to accelerate our gifts and our presence being given on December 21st. And, yes, Islam. It's unlocked for them to come in, Islam. So the word fast is a precursor, and precursor spelled a different way other than the way they previously spelled it. It is a preparation.
Pauline, you're so...
For that. It's a preparation for that.
Marcel Maddox Bay, where are you?
So, do all that you can to align yourself with this energy and to align your chakras. Meditate. Practice entropy. Entropy is
Milo in the house?
We used to call it zero entropy. We used to call entropy zero entropy, but we don't call it that anymore. We call it entropy. And entropy is entropy is where it's almost like a shutting down in order that we can hear. A shutting down internally of all of that madness and colonial programming and all of that, so that we can hear the ancestors. Okay. And so this X-mass, because you know they're calling it, they used to call it X-mass in all capital letters. X Mass or Christ Mass is going to be the time, starting on the 21st, where the Christ begins to manifest even more so than we were previously. All of us are the Christ. Christ Mass means a massive showing of the Christ. And this 2020 will be so that all eyes can see. All eyes can see the Christ in all of us. And so X-Mass and X-Men, same thing. Christ Mass, it is the celebration of the returning Christ, the birth of the Christ, which is us. And that's what this energy surge and the alignment of the planets is announcing. That the Christ is here in all of us. So, again, the fast on the 13th, 14th, and 15th is going to assist in facilitating that. If you can't do water-only fast, then fast from meat, or fast from sugar, or fast from TV, or fast from complaining, or fast from something previously that bothered you that you used to do. And we all have colonial baggage that we're shedding. We all do. And so fasting from that, being cognizant of it, and then learning to fast from that and not let that take hold is key. So are there any questions about that, about the fast, about the 21st? Because again, the 21st is, and the 21st is not just a one-day thing. December 21st and the soul fest is going to be ongoing. It's ongoing. It's an ongoing thing. The energies are going to keep coming after that, December 21st. They're going to keep coming. And there's going to be a mass awakening of the Moors. So we can go ahead and get ready for that. It's already started. I'm getting way more calls now than previously of people they just want nationality documents, and fortunately we can provide them and point them to where they need to go for those documents and for their IDs and things like that. That's what all of this was in preparation for.
I told you I wanted to declare my nationality.
So that we can be prepared for them to come. A lot of it is going to be our kin. They're going to be coming. And because of the demonstrations that we have been doing, all of us, we're prepared. We have information that can assist them. We have we can point them to certain places and assist them in which way to go and what to do. We've been tested, so by the time they get tested, we can tell them the same things that we know about testing. Testing is really about patience and about finding peace in all of that, in the testing. And the sooner we find peace in the testing, the sooner the test ends. That's a hint. I'm just telling you. I was talking to one of the Moors today, and she does not realize it, but I heard so much more peace in her voice than when her test first started. That's going to assist her in the test ending quickly and her getting solution and resolution to the test that she's been going through. But when she was first being tested, she was a bit frantic, and that's understandable because it was a huge monumental test. Yes, Empress, yes, Islam. But the peace that I heard in her voice today It makes it all worth it. And a lot of times you can't hear that initially. And even when you try to assist, they can't hear because they're right in the midst of a test. But as they calm down and put their trust in themselves, since they're God, we're God anyway. When we put our trust in ourselves, yes, Justice Jeremore in the chat, my peace I give to me. We are the authors of our own peace and our own feelings and our own everything. I'm not going to put her on the spot, and if she decides she wants to share, she can share, Justice Jonaya. And she knows how to star 6, so if she's ready to share, she'll share. And if not, we're okay with that. I'm just happy for her and for all of the Moors that are finding peace in the testing, because as soon as the tribulation is over, the reward comes. So the other day on the last call, we gave a random fact, actually yesterday, a random fact. I want to put that random fact out today and expand on it just a little bit. Okay. And it seems random, but it's really not random. So yesterday we talked about a coffin, excuse me. A coffin, C-O-F-F-I-N, those things that they put people in for a funeral, a funeral. That's just the way the word is spelled. A coffin is defined in the dictionary as a basket. A coffin is defined in the dictionary as a basket. Every time they pass the basket at church, and you consent to place an extension of yourself in the basket, which is your sovereign energy and your intention. That's what you're really putting in the basket. Your sovereign energy and your intention. Then what have you done? What have you done? You have just placed yourself in a coffin willingly. You have given yourself to the Pope in all capital letters. Your energy was used to earn the coinage, whatever coinage you put in there, or whatever you put in there. And generally, the sleeping Moors have an emotional attachment to the property that they place in the basket coffin. So every time you go to the church and you do that, you're actually participating in your own funeral. And that, yes, in the chat, that's in any corporate basket. Any of them. The charity basket, the quote-unquote Salvation Army. When you put stuff in there, yes, all uppercase is a coffin. Yes, Justice Yezreel, yes. All uppercase is a coffin. So that Salvation Army piece is just another funeral. That's why they're ringing the church bell, saying we got another dead one here. A coffin or basket is also a ship, S-H-I-P, that the owner of the coffin can assign a law, a type of law to. The owner determines whether the law of the land or the law of the sea applies to their coffin or their ship. Yes, in the chat, Empress Allison Church doing business as prison. Yes. Not just prison, but cemetery. That's why they call it a seminary. They meant to make it sound that close. Because one is a derivative of the other. The money changers, which are the popes in all capital letters, the preachers in all capital letters, the imams in all capital letters, the ushers in all capital letters, and, you know, if you're doing business in those in all capital letters, it is what it is. But we got to stop the madness on our land. So the only way that we can stop the madness is to call it what it is. We have to give it a name. Because when God does things, God gives things a name. Yes, in the chat, Justice Jiramore says they are the theological cemetery, and Justice Yezerel says a house of worship. That's exactly what it is, because they know that vowels are interchangeable. Vowels are interchangeable, and they use Latin to establish that. And when we initially, we the Phoenicians derived and wrote and coined, we didn't use vowels at all. And then when we started using them, they became interchangeable. We can make them whatever we want to make them. And see, the popes and the preachers and the imams and the rabbis and all of them doing business as on our land, they already know that ritual. That's why sometimes they'll pass the basket 2 or 3 times and say, welcome to your funeral. Yes, Justice Jiramore, you just keep them coming. He said, onward Christian soldiers marching as to war, because that's what they sing. And in our former churches, I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. That's what we used to sing. Not knowing that when they passed that basket, you killed yourself. You did it to yourself. I'm going to unlock it. Yes, one more. Islam. So this whole time, they didn't even have to.
Marcel Maddox Bay, come out and play.
Just a moment. Just a moment. Let me get him out of here. You know he got to go. And we don't talk to them because they are dead. Okay. So when you agree to be dead, okay, by putting, just a moment, let me make sure I'm reading this correctly in the chat. Yes. Yes, Justice Jiramore said they hide behind the cross.
That's too funny, Pauline.
And
I'm not
they
dead.
hide
Talk
behind
to me
the
all
cross.
the time, Pauline.
Just a moment. They hide behind the cross, and that is the 4 gates of the monkeys. Oh, I didn't know that. That's good. That's good. Justice Jiramore, that's good. When you agree to be dead, and by putting your energy in the basket coffin, then that is an exchange. That means that an exchange has taken place. And the money changers then pretend to be the living you, and they attempt to claim all of your credits and hereditaments and your inheritance. They do. Hang on just a second. Listen. They claim that. So now, now that we've talked about that basket, let's talk about the Easter basket. It is a contract, yes. When they pass the plate, when you put something in there, that's a contract. And that's why at the end of the year, they have you, so they can give you an accounting of just about everything you put in there. And then what do? Give you a tax statement. But they take the biggest chunk. The biggest chunk is they can say they have all these creditors who don't know their creditors on their roll, on their roster. And that's why they got completely tax-free everything, because they kept the creditors quiet and dumbed down. And then they sell you. Now, let's discuss the Easter coffin basket. So, what have we done previously, ritualistically and symbolically? What did we do at Easter? This is what we did. That's why I say, matriarchs, we have got to fix this mess, and that's what we're here for. So previously, this is what we've been doing. We've been getting our eggs, ritualistically and symbolically, and boiling them ritualistically. Now, they didn't even have to enslave us. We agreed to boil our own eggs. And then we colored our eggs. Islam. We colored our eggs. And then when we colored our eggs, we were consenting to color of law and color of authority. That's what we were doing.
Where's Delilah, Pauline? What happened?
And then we dyed them. Yes, Empress, in the chat. Boy, those rituals were just on high at that time. They really were on high.
Answer the...
Just a moment. Let me put that out. We dyed them. Dyed, D-I-E-D. All of this is ritual. All of it is ritual. Then what did we do? Then we, the matriarchs, the consenting vanguards of our nation, because we're the vanguard, we're the watchers of the nation. We are that. We know that already. We took the colored eggs, empresses, to the church, straight to the Pope. We did that. We took the colored egg straight to the Pope, and then we released custody of the eggs by hiding them in the church yard. In other words, just giving them over and then agreeing not to watch them anymore. Then, with no major adult supervision of the eggs, we then told the children to get their coffin baskets and go and take custody of our eggs and place them, our eggs, and all future heirs' eggs and all the future eggs into the basket, the coffin. We agreed to do that. Hang on just a second. Let me make sure that I'm able to speak here. Just a moment. Okay, and then what else did we do? We had the children, just one moment. So can you all hear me? Hopefully you can hear me.
Kids moving again.
Yes.
The first phone call.
Can you hear me? Okay, good. So we then told the children to get their coffin baskets and go and take custody of our eggs and place all future heirs and even the heirs of the children into the basket. We did that. Now again, the Pope is sitting somewhere watching this, and they're taking energy and doing all they can. Okay, hold on for just a moment. Let me find my document. There it is. Okay. Okay, thank you for that, Empress. And then we took the children, and the children took the basket filled with eggs into the church as minors. Okay, so the children are minors. We turned the eggs over to the children, and we said, okay, children, you go into the church as minors. Go into the children's church, which is the custody of the Pope, and celebrate. That's what we told them. That's what we did. We did that. Now, the rabbit is symbolic of our fertility and our ability to procreate at will, so that energy, that particular energy, had to go into the basket too, into the coffin. And it had to be done by our own hands. We had to do it. One thing I wanted to also show you, okay? Yes, we've been doing this repeatedly for years. Yes, in the chat, brilliant. That is the foundation of Unum Sanctum. And taking of the children, sold out all of that. Yes, taking of the inheritance. Bad practice to put all eggs in one basket, yes, because they wanted to divide the baskets up anyway. They were going to try and divide them up anyway, but they needed our consent. And so the rabbit, exactly, Empress, rabbits don't have chicken eggs. That is correct. The rabbit, they could have chosen a chicken and let that be the mascot. But that would not have symbolized our ability to procreate at will. We gave the rabbits specific duties and responsibilities and urges and all of that. And so they wanted to get us to agree to give them that. Or otherwise, guess what? If we didn't give them our procreative energy, guess who wouldn't be procreating? Think about the birth numbers now over there in that foreign colonization piece. Think about that. Think about all of that. Think about how the birth numbers have gone down because we've taken back our ability to procreate. And our ability never stopped, but we shared our energy with the dead. And we're so powerful that even a little bit of our energy that we share with the dead will procreate more dead. Something that I wanted to point out to you about that whole Easter Ishtar piece, because Ishtar is actually the goddess of fertility and prosperity and procreation, and we know that when we procreate, our wealth increases. Every time we have an heir, our wealth increases because we have another heir to the vast estate. And when one of us has an heir, all of us, our wealth increases. Because there's more heirs, that means that more wealth has just been created. We create wealth by giving birth. Each one of us. Yes, Islam. Yes, we do. Because we really don't die. In the chat, the Empress Portia says we increase also when we transition. We go back to being alt. Alt means everything, the all. And then when we want to re-manifest in the flesh, we come back down here. And we do that repeatedly. And then we check out what's going on down here, and anywhere that we can help, we assist. That's what all of us do. We're very, very, very powerful. And so that's why they chose the rabbit instead of the chicken. And we know about the procreative prowess and abilities of the rabbit. Lots and lots and lots of heirs on our part. Lots. My mother gave birth to 10 heirs. My aunt, and actually my father's brother's wife, gave birth to 18 heirs. And now that we've taken our procreative energies back, guess what's about to happen in our nation? More heirs. I'm excited about that. I'm excited because that means that our wealth is about to quadra, super duper, triple, trillion, triple. That's exciting. Yes, I'm excited about that. We're about to be even wealthier, if that was even possible. If that was even possible. So, one thing I wanted to point out about that whole Easter piece, I went and Googled Easter eggs. And one thing I noticed about the majority of the photos, can you see that on the screen, the Easter eggs on the screen? Islam. Look at the Easter egg. It's got all types of colors and stuff, but you are never going to see until we do it, and we're going to do it. A basket full of red eggs. Have you ever seen a basket full of truly red? I don't mean half orange or, you know. Have you ever seen a basket filled with red eggs? And when I say red eggs, I mean eggs that look like this. Like that. Don't you wonder why you've never seen a basket full of red eggs? I did. Now I know. In my spirit, I know. When we take back our fertility and our procreative magic in, I believe, Ishtar is when? April, May, somewhere around there. Well, at that time, we're going to take back that day. We're going to paint all the eggs red. And we're going to rededicate and recommit them back to our nation, back to ourselves. Empresses, we are going to take control of that day and of our eggs. And emperors, you can do it too, because you all are a part of this just as much as we are. Paint the eggs red, and we're not going to hide them. We're going to make sure that we put them in a safe place, like in our domiciles or on our land, because that's the difference. See, the church, and I'm not bashing the Christians, I'm just talking about what really happened and what was happening right before our eyes that we didn't see. The eggs were hidden on the land, but they were fraudulently claiming it. Now that the land is returned to us, we can do that in our own domiciles and at our own mosques and at our own places of worship. And it's not even worship anymore. It's places of peace. So now the eggs are put on land that is peaceful, because that's a ritual and it's symbolic. And the baskets are not going to be baskets. They're going to be something other than a basket or a coffin. It'll be back to what it should be, a collection mechanism for wealth. So what do we use to collect wealth? That's what we'll use for the egg. And I'm just saying this as a measure of every holiday, quote unquote holiday, is actually a holy day that we can sanctify and put it in its rightful place. Yes, places for worship. W-O-R-T-H. That's great, Justice Gilmore. We get to determine what that day is for. That's our call. That's not anybody else's call. That's for us to do as a nation, and that's what we're going to choose to do on that day. As a ritual, we will take back our eggs, and they will be colored red. And we're going to recommit and rededicate them back to our own wombs and our own sovereign selves. And any heirs that our heirs may have can participate in that. That way, they don't miss out on anything, and it's done the right way. And red flags everywhere. Our flag, our mother flag, everywhere. Put it all over the place and celebrate that we have our heirship, our heirs back, our worship back. That's just a suggestion, but we can do that. I know I'm going to do it because I've been looking for a reason to rebut publicly that which was being said out there. All those lies and all of that craziness and all of the anthropomorphic definitions and all of that, connotative and all of that. The Christ has risen, and when the Christ has risen from the denationalization or the dead, then the Christ puts everything that was hypothecated back in its rightful place, including the holy days. Because that's a holy day, actually. Celebrating our resurrection or resurrection. Because, you know, they talk about insurrection and all of that kind of stuff. It's none of that. It's a peaceful resurrection. And so The red egg, I think that's, yes, in the chat. Worship is value placed upon anything. And we already know that our heirs are worth everything. Everything, everything, everything. I love what you all are putting in the chat. That's beautiful, Justice Rennie. Beautiful. Are there any questions or comments about that? And about the holy days that we're going to put in their rightful place? Good. Okay. Islam. Oh. And now we're going to shift gears just a little bit. And we're going to, just a moment. Islam?
Yes, Emperor's Light.
Yes, Islam.
From Trinidad Territory.
Yes.
I've been saying to the men that
Can you speak up just a little bit? Speak up just a little bit so we can hear you.
Okay, I say to the men wherever I go that I worship the women, the female energy, because I place high value on the female energy. Without the female energy, I won't have the life that I have. So I worship the female energy. I yield.
Wow. Did you hear what he said? He said he worshipped the female because of the energy. It's the female energy that he worships. The female energy. And worship does not mean the same thing as it did, as they taught that stuff they were talking about. It is a healthy, lawful, powerful sharing of the energy. So we honor that. It is, yes, in the chat, it is reverence. Reverence. It's reverence of the energy. And we all have that for the matriarchal energy.
Paul,
We all have that. And we're appreciative of it. So now, yes, acknowledgement. That's a good word as well, Justice Jade. That's a great word. Because it was not acknowledged previously by some, not even by us, in its proper setting. It was not properly acknowledged even by us. And that's what we're doing now. We're properly acknowledging everything is getting back in its rightful order. And we know that we are a matriarchal nation. And that matriarchal energy is even in our sons. So you all are the head too, and not the tail. Let's just make sure we get that out there. We have to acknowledge that too. And we do so with pride. We do that with pride. Justice, did you have something else that you wanted to? I see your line is open.
Yes, what I also I'm saying, I now understand why the woman from the church and say that the woman should not speak in the church. I now understand it because the energy that we need to take us to another level is the female energy. So when they remove the female energy, we are not as strong as we should be. So the time for the restoration of the female energy has come. I yield.
Yes, Islam. Thank you, Justice. We have been in a patriarchal society, as it were, so to speak. So to speak, and I say so to speak because that's not even really, we never left our sovereign status. We just did not know about it. Yes, Justice Jiramore says, I am the father, mother. Justice Yezreel says, we are dual in nature. Yes, dual and one at the same time, because only we can do that. We're dual and we are one, all at once. Yes, Justice J. Michael, us men have to acknowledge it in ourselves. Yes, Justice J. Michael, yes, Justice Jiramore, we are the mother, father, the matriarchs are. Yes, Islam. Beautiful, beautiful. And we can't have one without the other. We need one another. Even though this is matriarchal, we are a matriarchal government and nation, we still need one another. Just like when we were in patriarchal situations, we still needed one another. That is the proper order for the Moorish prayer. Yes, Justice Gilmore. Thank you for bringing that up because that's important. We are matriarchal. We're strong again. But it's, again, that doesn't take anything away from the sun. We were just under the wrong, quote unquote, patriarchy. We were never supposed to be under anything or anyone, ever. But we know that. So now, I want to shift gears just a little bit. Let me just make sure that, okay. I want to shift gears just a little bit.
Islam?
Yes, Justice, yes.
Wanted to make a little comment. It's taking me too long to type it. But if you notice something that's going on today in the, what will be called the Albion world of dying governance, that they are looking to blur the line, as you would call it, between what masculine and feminine energy does by swapping genders. That is a direct attack. And that is what they're trying to do to our ears.
Who did?
Yes, yes.
We have to pay attention to it, and it is not okay to just, because we must know who we are.
Hey,
so
Jeramoop, is that you, Jeramoop?
It's not even possible. See, we can't be monkeys and be who we are. That's what they're trying to do, to create everybody being some copy of the monkey mix. And that is what we must pay attention to every time we see it. Not get mad about it, but address it in an upright manner. Islam.
Addressing in an upright manner is key. We are way too noble. We just are to go down into all of the craziness, you know. Yes, Empress Alessandra, Ishtar is April 1st, and that's why they called it April Fool's Day. Because they were like, we have you all giving your eggs to us out in the open in public. Ritualistically sending your heirs directly to us. Without even, they didn't even have to pull a gun on us. All they had to do was, we agree to go to sleep, and then they just start teaching animal stuff. That's it. I'm glad that we can put that back in its proper place. And it is finished. It's in its proper place right now. We're never going back to that other stuff, ever, ever. There. Now, that's on the public record. Okay, I want to switch gears just a little bit. Have you heard of full faith and credit? Have you heard of full faith and credit? Islam in the chat. Islam. Okay. Article 4, Section 1 of the Constitution reads as follows. And I'm gonna read it according to the way we have decolonized and decapitalized it. If you'll look on the screen, let me pull it up. There it is. In fact, I'm going to put a little space between this and the egg. That way we can see it without seeing eggs.
Islam, I got kicked out.
Okay.
Can I get back on for the screen?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I've unlocked it, so if you want to go ahead and re-sign back on.
Did not kicked off.
I'm
He's in.
Yeah, he's probably like I am on phone and on the computer. And on. Okay. Now, so let's just read Section 1. Article 4, Section 1 of the Constitution. And again, I decapitalized it. And as a side note, and it's not even a side note, it's actually very important.
Why do you lie to these
when
people?
You talk about Acts, you know how you talk about like the book of Acts? The word Acts and the word account, they are synonymous. I didn't know that until I started looking at it and looking at the Biblios for what it really is, the way we wrote it. Acts and accounts. So the Acts of the Apostles is really the accounts of the Apostles, right? So when you read Article 4, Section 1 of the Constitution properly, competently, as written by our ancestors through us, it says, full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public accounts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. And the Congress may by general laws prescribe the manner in which such accounts, records, and proceeds shall be proved or provided, and the effect thereof, and the property thereof. Because when they say personal effects, okay, that's it. It means property. Proceedings is proceeds. And when you talk about judicial proceedings, we know that judges are bankers. And actually, justices are bankers. Fake judges, we're not even talking about them because they're fake. So now we're talking about commerce. All law is commerce. And then when you talk about the Congress, let's talk about that a little bit. Let me scroll down here. I'm going to refer to the Biblios Heliotech when it talks about full faith and credit, and we'll get to the Congress part in just a minute. Because full faith and credit go together. Faith and credit go together. Why? Because they are one and the same, especially where the sovereigns are concerned. Whatever it is that we look to and say, I believe in that, or that's, then we are sending our credit over there. That's why they say you vote with your feet. Wherever you go, that's where you voted to be. And you put your full faith and credit in that. So I'm going to use the bibliotext that they've been using to support and point out some things. Because this is what they see when they've been looking at it. Everything that has to do with their religion has everything to do with the heirs. Let me prove that. So now, we're talking about full faith and credit. Let's go to the biblios about that. Romans, the 10th chapter, verse 17 says, so then faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Well, who is God? Who is God? First of all, let's do a court action on that. We have to first identify the parties. Who is God? The heirs, the Moors. Yes, yes, yes. In the chat, yes, yes. We all are God. We know that. They know that too. Let me prove it. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Not just any word. It can't be the word of a citizen or a dead person. It's got to be the word of God. Okay? Yes, Empress Shade in the chat. You going right where I'm headed. She put in the chat, whatever you put your full faith and credit in is a contract. Yes, it is. Therefore, you contracted and invested into that. Empress Shade, yes, absolutely. Let's go there. Let's dive right on in. When we, the gods, speak to the dead by telling them, hey, do this for me and do that for me, even though we can do it for ourselves, we're putting our faith in them, and with our faith comes our credit. That's why they keep using it. They then pretend to be alive, because they're not alive, they're dead. They pretend to be alive and begin using our credit for themselves while exchanging their debt and attempting to pass it on to us. By our word, we are employing the dead. As we continue to not speak to them any longer and govern our own affairs, our credit is kept within our nation. We then have put our trust in one another and no other. Yes. So what this scripture is really saying is whenever we speak and they hear us speak and they feel like we're speaking to them and they hear it, then they take the faith, and with the faith comes the credit. With the faith that we put in them when we speak to them and say stuff to them comes our credit. That's what that verse is really saying. They mistranslated it and then misinterpreted it on purpose so we wouldn't get it. But we got to learn how to read. And if you turn that verse backwards and you say, by the word of God comes hearing, then that means we speak, and if we're speaking to them, they hear it. Then comes what? The faith, but they left the credit part out. They didn't tell us that our credit comes with our faith. When we give them that, when we put our faith in them, our credit goes with it. Yes, in the chat. All of that. Yes, Justice, in the chat. God is word, word is knowledge, knowledge is power, power creates everything. That is brilliant. I just got that one in the, thank you. Okay, so they left the word credit out of that verse on purpose. But again, the Bibliotheliotech is a trust document. But it's a trust document for us to use when we put it in its proper place, and then we know how to read it. Then we know not to don't speak to them. Then they don't get your faith. And when they don't get your faith, guess what? They can't use your credit. When policy enforcers approach, don't speak to them. Because when you do, they take that credit and run, don't they? Next thing you know, you all beat up and carrying on. And they're busy getting paid in the way that they can. Now, let's pull another jewel from the Bibliotheliotech and apply it to our sovereign status where full faith and credit is concerned. James, the 2nd chapter, verse 26, says, "For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also." Faith without works is dead. So you mean if we keep our faith and we don't put them to work, they remain dead? Because, you know, that's a little bit of a mistranslation there too. But we can put it in its proper place. Who is the spirit? The heirs. We are. God is the spirit, and they that worship must worship in spirit and in truth. We're that. Corpses can't be truth. They're dead. And so when you talk about the walking dead, they're walking around seeking whom they may devour. And they'll be the first ones to walk up to you talking about, may I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you? No. I don't need, in fact, I don't even say no. Now it's ancestors, a corpse. Be gone. You know, ancestors, the dead is attempting to speak. Ancestors, I will not be speaking to the dead in honor of you, the living. Yes. Every time they ask, can I help you? They're looking for credit, full faith and credit. So now we're in the place, in a transitionary place where we're beginning to move away from. We're not totally out of that place yet, but we're getting there, and we just have to keep going. So don't feel bad if you do come into a situation where you can't, it's almost like you're in a corner and you need some assistance. Put the assistance in its proper place. Put it in its proper place. Be yourself. Put them in the subject status, and then do what you have to do until you can do better. But we have to move away from that. Everything on our land, that's why they keep attempting to govern our resources. It's because we kept talking to them about the resources. Yes, in the chat. What are the works? The works are minding whatsoever we will. The deed must be minded to get done. Yes, Justice. Yes, absolutely. John, the 6th chapter, verse 63, is a financial verse. It's financial. Let's read it. It is the Spirit who gives life. The flesh profits nothing. The words that I speak to you are spirit and they are life. That's where the profit is. Profit. The profit is in the spirit and the word, which is life. We're the prophet, Profit, as well as the Prophet. We're all of that. And those words mean the same thing, by the way. They sound the same, spelled a little different, but they mean the same thing. If you got the right prophet, you will profit. And guess what? You're the right prophet for you. I'm the right prophet for me. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali is the right prophet for everyone. Ultimately, we are the prophet for ourselves and our vast estate. Not only are we the prophets that speak, we're the prophets, Profit. It talks about us in the biblioheliotext when we know who we really are and identities are properly stated. It is the Spirit who gives life. We do every time we speak. And if we speak to a corpse, the corpse won't live. It'll just get up and start jumping around and pretending to live.
It'll get up and walk.
Yes.
Yes.
It will get up and walk. Like the Walking Dead. And see, on our land, we got a bunch of Walking Dead because we keep talking to them.
Islam. So
You're
true.
right. You are right. If we stop talking to them, go ahead, Justice, go ahead.
Just wanted to make a comment before you go from this subject. Always, the passage in John, and what I always talk about, the part about the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, and how those things are talked about and how they are presented. And it's all a matter of minding is what it's talking about. How to turn 5 loaves to feed 7,000, and it says 2 fishes. I know most of them say 7 fishes to feed 5,000, or the other way around, 5 fishes and 7 loaves. But it's always what we have to know, that this is talking about mind, not magic. It's mind. And whatever we put in mind, it happens the instant we put it in mind. And we just have to know, and which is why Esau said, "Why stand you there looking at me in wonder at the things I do? You can do them too, and some of you will do more." So, you know, that is important for people to know. It's a direct, not command, but a direct pointing at you and saying, you can do more.
Yes.
And that's all we have to pay attention to, because when we mind our business will mind us. I always say again, if we pay attention, attention pays us back. And I never put this part in, but it pays us back in spades. And if you know, spades is the most powerful card in the deck. Not hearts. Islam.
Yes. Wow. And yes, someone sent something saying, greater is he that is in me. And again, The he and the she are one.
Well, synonymous.
Islam.
Yes.
Yes.
Islam. I go silent.
Yes, yes. You don't have to go silent, Justice Jeremore. I love it. Very, 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 very true. Very true. Let me just see. Yes, Empress Minnie, yes, in the chat. 5 of us can feed 5,000 of them. One of us can feed the whole earth if you really, really, really want to know the real truth about the sovereign. It only takes one sovereign to feed the whole earth when we know who we are. Thankfully, it's way more of us than just one. Yay! I love it. That's why, again, that token, quote-unquote, black, they always had to have one of us so that the whole group of them could eat. They only need one of us in a church full of 50,000 of them in order for them to eat. Just one. And that one is usually one of the musicians or the praise team. Yes. Greater works indeed, Empress. Yes. Empress Minnie, you brought out something very key there. And that's where the profit part comes in at. At the bank, when we were in our sleep and we borrowed $100, it would bring them at least 1,000 or more repeatedly. And then they would go sell that, and then whoever they sold it to would sell that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we fed so many in our sleep that it's just, it's wow. It really is. And so let's see. Let me go back to my WordPad document. It is the spirit who gives life. The flesh profits nothing. The flesh, the dead flesh, they took the word dead out. The dead flesh profits nothing. And see, we're more spirit than we are anything else. We know that. The words that I speak to you are spirit and they are life. That's John 6:63. Yes, our words are spirit and life. So let's go down a little bit further. We are God, the Creator, who breathes life into all. Our words are spirit and they are life. Without them, the dead remain unable to act or account. Because remember, act and account mean the same thing. The word act and the word account means the same thing. They are unable to act or account, start the ringing up of the, and the stealing of the, all of that. They can't touch us, they can't violate us, and they cannot use our credit. The flesh profits nothing. Profit is our credit. That's us. No dead flesh profits without our words, and no corpses can act without our words. Corpses should not be employed to act. They are only acting like they are alive, but they are still dead, even when we speak to them. And that's why they cut up and violate and act crazy, because then we're agreeing to be a corpse when we speak to them. And they start treating us like a corpse, like they treat each other. When we speak to them, we're transferring living energy that they use until we stop sending our sovereign, natural, divine, Moorish, American, Al-Moroccan energy. Remember that act and account are synonymous. If we keep our faith between us and our brothers and sisters and govern our own affairs, then no works by dead corpses follows. Faith without works is dead. Dead will stay dead. Our faith and credit is kept within our nation, and we speak life into the commercial affairs of our own brothers and sisters. Our sovereign credit grows our nation. We profit by our own words and our own works. Again, without our sovereign words, which are spirit and life, the corpses cannot act like they are the living and pass their debt to the heirs. Yes, in the chat, we animate them with our breath. Yes, we sure do. I mean, the holy breath, again, they won't move. I've been saying that. They will not move when we're competent and when we're peaceful. Competent means just don't speak to them. And they're going to use trigger words and trigger terms. Some of the trigger words are, the main one that I've seen them use since I've been demonstrating that they will throw out there quick to see if they can get a response from you, is the one word that they know that they are, black. That is their trigger word. They have a formula that they're using. I'm telling you, they're going by a script because each one of my demonstrations, they all do the same thing. And the further I go in the demonstrations, the more I see that, wait a minute, this is a pattern. They're doing this, they do the same thing. First, they start talking to you to see if you'll talk back. Then they'll start using terms, black this and black that. Or, yes, or sovereign citizen or just citizen. They will do anything to subrogate the identity, subrogation. Do the study on the word subrogation. Do the study. They do that a lot in their faith court. Uh-oh. Justice, did you want to say something? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Justice.
Islam?
Yes.
There is a text in the Helios Biblios, in the book of Ezekiel, where it says, the Lord said to Ezekiel, Son of man, can these dry bones live? And he said, Lord, thou knowest. And then the Lord said to him, speak, and they shall live. It seems to suggest to us that the power is in the word.
That is powerful.
Yeah. So we have the power to speak. So if we don't speak to them, they have no power.
Yes, dry bones.
Yes, dry bones. I hear it.
Ooh, that's powerful, Justice. That is powerful. Can these dry bones live? Yes, if you speak to them. If you speak to them, they can live. Yes, they can. And that is why our nation is living now. Now, we've always been alive. We know that. We're living now because each one of us keeps speaking life into our nation. Every time we put a document on the public record, we're speaking life into our nation. Every time we do a demonstration or tell someone we know we're a Moorish American or an Al Moroccan, whichever you choose, whichever term you choose, we're both. The descendants of Moroccans born at America, we're all of that. Let's not leave that out. Ancient Morocco, we're that. Any time we speak life into anything, including our nation, guess what's going to happen? It's going to live. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. Heirs, you, us, all of us. Now, let's turn right back now. Because I want to be sure we put this into its proper place as well. Because there's this full faith and credit piece. This part of the Constitution is already saying that those who have done court actions, judicial proceedings, Islam, and lien, and all of that, all of those actions are to be honored by all other states. Let's read it again. It says it right here. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, accounts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. And the Congress may by general laws prescribe the manner in which such acts, accounts, records, and proceedings shall be proved and the effect thereof. We are the Congress. Congress is in session right now. We're already meeting. Did you know that? You're Congress, and some of us didn't know it. But we are that. This is Congress. Congress is now in session, been in session for years now. No other fake corporate Congress can attempt to speak for us because we do not breathe life into them. We breathe life into our own nation, Islam. So, all of the court actions and all of the liens and all that, we're going somewhere with all this. We're not just doing that for nothing. And anybody who says, we did all this stuff, now what? I don't see nothing happening. All you have to do is read the Constitution to know what's going to happen next. We had to do it first. We had to breathe life into our nation first. We had to breathe life into our courts first. We had to breathe life into our documents and our liens. We had to breathe life into the financial system first. We had to breathe life into our unity first. Now it's a wrap. Where are we going? Well, look. Just look. You can look. Just pick a document. Pick the Septuagint, the Bibliotext. You can pick the Constitution. You can pick any of that and see what we can do with what we've done. It's a process, an ongoing one. And that's why patience is a virtue in all of this. Patience is a virtue in all of this. Yes, we've had it hard. It's been tough. It's been tough. I've been to jail. Some of you've been to jail. It's a process. We needed to see that this that we know is true is true. I'm glad I went that one time in 2017, December 10th, because now I know that what we're talking about is true. I had to see if it was really going to work. Islam, Empress, ministerial vacation, actually, Empress. All they're doing is giving you some sovereign credits to finish doing your job. Keep going, Empress. Just keep going. Just keep going. Islam. Yes, Islam. I see. It is Islam. 2017, is that when you went to boot camp training? Justice Urash? Yes, Islam. 2017 for me. Let's see, was it 2017? 2018 for me. 2017. December 2017, December 10th, 2017 until January the 4th, 2018. That was when I went to boot camp training. And I'm so grateful to our ancestors that I did, because look at what all we got to see and know. So now we know where we're going. If you want to know where we're going with all that we're doing, just read the Constitution, read the treaties, and all of that, and see what we can do with what we've learned. We're the prophets. P-R-O-F-I-T-S. We're that. All of us. And we're our own prophets. P-R-O-P-H-E-T. And then we're the ancestral prophets returned, all of them. All of the prophets that were in our bloodline and birthright, to include Yeshua. We are them returned. That's why we can look at the Biblioteliotext and do greater works than our ancestor, Yeshua, and our great Moabitess, Ruth. We have much to be proud of, much to look forward to, much to look forward to. We got a lot of work to do, though. We got a lot of work to do. A lot of work. But you know what? We can do it. We can do it. A lot of work. Yes. Empress Minnie, I see you in that chat. You know what? You and I have got to get together again, because we do have a lot of work to do. So, let's see. Yes, I see. Justice Gilmore, yes. So that is all that I wanted for us to discuss as a Congress and to share as a Congress and to talk about as the Congress. Yes, Empress Patricia, we are the ancestors returned. Ancestors. Cess means to stop, such as the word, it is a derivative of, the word cessation is a derivative of the word cess. Ancestors, we can start and stop whenever we choose. And it's really the ancestors. The ancestors. Because even the stars align when they see us coming. So again, December 21st, alignment that has not been done in thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. It's happening because we're awake, heirs. So let's prepare our temples to receive all of the information that the ancestors have for us. Yes, Justice Jeremore. We are forthe, P-H-O-T-H, in all lowercase letters in red. So our nothing is even called forthe. Our nothing is still the all. Islam. As above, so below. So that's all I have for you know, to place on our table so we can all eat together. And we will meet again on Sunday. Peace and grand rising if you have nothing further. Stalking, spell check, yes. Peace and grand rising to the air.
Grand Rising. Peace and Grand Rising. Peace and Grand Rising.
Much love.
Islam,
Long live the Moorish Empire.
long live the Moorish Empire indeed.
Islam,
Love
paz y
you.
amor.
Grand Rising.
Grand Rising.
Peace and love. Islam.
Islam.
Grand Rising to the Mighty Moors.
Islam. Grand Rising.
Empress, I'm going to email something to you.
Huh?
I'm going to email something to you.
Okay. Islam. Islam.